Hey everyone, I'm Andrew Boylan.
I'm Alex Corson.
And Ian McGill.
And welcome to what would be kind of like a little bit of a commentary series. You know, like we're just going to watch the episodes of the Man-Dog Frontier Saga and just talk about experiences. Now, this is the first episode of the series.
Yes, it is. So, I really like this opening footage.
Yeah,
here.
I really like the way it was edited together. This is all stock footage from a drone.
Yeah, this isn't my footage. I found this on YouTube, and of course, we got to open with a John Denver song, "Sunshine on My Shoulders."
Stack in the background too.
Yeah, Beasley's Point Smokestack in the background.
See that, yeah.
Yep, I saw that. I wanted that in there because that plays a role later on in Frontier Saga.
Don't judge me.
Yes. So we did the 30th anniversary. It did really well, and I wanted to do something similar.
Yeah, and then you did 2 Christmas specials later that year.
Well, the thing is, like, when it comes to the summer, what we were going to do over the summer, we did the 30th anniversary, and it did really well, and I liked the music and the song sequences, and I wanted to do that again, but let's do it in, like, vlog form.
Yeah.
So let's do multiple videos.
There's Dan McDermott right there.
Yeah, Dan and I met up back in March when we were shooting a lot of this stuff because this wasn't going to premiere until May
26th.
Yeah, and I asked Dan, I said, Dan, can you do these little things for us and we can insert them into the episodes? And also, if you have any footage of yourself at Wonderland from back in the day, can you give it to me so we can put you in the shows? Because he couldn't make all the times when we were meeting up working on the Man and Dog. He couldn't make that. And I wanted to include him in this.
Yeah.
Because he's been included in almost every Man and Dog video we've ever done.
Yeah.
Because he left Wonderland Pier. I mean, 2019 was his last year working there full time. And once 2020 came, he kind of came and went. Like, he still comes in to work on the... He comes in to, like, work on the giant wheel to run it a few times. But he doesn't work there every day. Yeah. So that's why he hasn't been... So a lot of the times you see him in Frontier Saga, it's through stock footage or movie clips from Wonderland 2, which is a movie that we did.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But either way, we still got him in here, which is great.
Yeah. Yeah, so when we were planning Frontier Saga, because like you said, we did the 30th anniversary movie the year before.
Yeah.
And then we did 2 Christmas specials.
Yep.
And then we're entering... excuse me, I'm still recovering from a cold. 2023 came, and like you said, we were trying to figure out what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Because we knew going in that it was going to be like a series of videos. Because like every other year we'll do like a big feature length movie, and another year we will do episodes. Yeah. So it's like a pattern going. And originally, when you announced, because this was like January or February, it was one of the two. When you did a video announcing Frontier Saga.
I did, and let me tell you how that got started. So, I had my hernia in November. So, I was laid up throughout November, December, which is why Christmas at the Railway Station ended up being what it was. And then, when I got better, we decided to do 5.0 for New Year's. But in between that time, in December, I heard the song Everybody Have Fun Tonight by Wang Chung. Now, I had known that song for a long time, but I never really listened to it. But I heard that song, and something about that song just made me think, this is a summer song, this is a great 80s tune, I would love to have the Man and Dog sing this. So I played this song constantly in my head, on YouTube, constantly for like a week. And I already had shots in my head of how that sequence would look. So the spark that started Frontier Saga was us doing Everybody Had Fun Tonight with the Man and Dog.
Yeah.
And everything you see in that video of us doing that song is exactly how I had it mapped in my head. How we see the 70s facade of Wonderland at the very end. Yeah. You see me on drums, you see you DJing, all of that was in my head, and I'm like, but that's what started it. And then I thought, okay, this is something I wish we had done for the 30th anniversary, but that doesn't mean we can't do it next year in 2023. So I said, well, we were going to do vlogs this year. What are we going to call the vlogs? And then I said, well, let's make the vlogs like 30th anniversary because we have all this more footage. We have all this stuff from the first Wonderland movie and the second Wonderland movie. Dan is in a lot of Wonderland too, so we can use that. And we can also have all this stock footage and all the team videos. So we got a lot of stuff to show, plus the new renovations and the new song. So I'm like, okay, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
And that's what we did.
Yeah.
Now, the original title, because Butter003 came up with the title Frontier Saga,
Yeah, I think
right?
it was me or him. It was one of the two of us.
Because I was asking you guys, can you guys give me a title? Because I had the original title. You ready for what the original title was called?
I am too afraid to ask.
Okay, the original title for this was going to be called... Alex, you know what it is. Go ahead, tell them.
The man and dog fun in the sun.
Fun in the Sun. That was going to be the title. Because
That sounds more like a project code name than an official plot.
Yeah, it was because I had... Well, originally, one of the other songs we were going to do, it wasn't going to be a song the man and dog were going to sing. It was going to be a song we were going to play to like a montage of summer things. Because you had all this footage of you surfing.
Yeah.
And I wanted to throw that in there with like... Because we do have that. Like when we did the song... I think it was in episode 14, All I Need Is a Miracle.
Yeah.
We have a lot of stock footage of Ocean City and Wonderland in the summertime. Well, and we were going to have like a montage of summer stuff going on. Well, one of the songs I originally was going to use instead of All I Need Is a Miracle was going to be All I Want to Do Is Have Some Fun by Sheryl Crow.
Yeah.
And I heard that and I'm like, and then I started thinking of
that
the
was
song,
in the 30th anniversary movie if you listen closely.
Yes, and I also was thinking of the song I'm Gonna Soak Up the Sun. And I'm like, oh, that's a good summer song. And then I started thinking, no, Fun in the Sun, is that a good title? And because I was trying to come up with a title, and then you guys came up with Frontier Saga, and I'm like, okay, we're calling it that. That's way better than the one I had.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, originally, when we announced Frontier Saga, originally we were going to do 10 episodes.
Yeah, originally it was going to be 10, and then somewhere down the line, I think, because we started airing this on Memorial Day weekend, I thought, well, wait, if we're going to do let's do one every week.
Because if we did the 10 episode route, okay, so we will air the first episode on May 26th. This was Memorial Day weekend. Mm-hmm. And by the time episode 10 came, it will be around, only to mid-August?
Yes.
And then we realized, wait a second, with the amount of weeks left of the summer, 4 to 5 weeks? Why not just make 15 episodes?
Why not? Let's
have it wrap up by Labor Day weekend.
Let's go from Memorial Day to Labor Day, and that'll be better. But the problem was I didn't know exactly, because I started running out of stuff to put in the videos right around episode 6.
Yeah.
And it got really, really hard to okay, well, we got to episode 5, episode 6. We went through all the renovation footage. What else is there to do? So I just started. So then we got.
Yeah, we filmed I thought we were going to wrap it up by Memorial Day. We actually didn't end filming until midsummer.
Yeah, because we had a few things to do.
One big thing while production of Frontier Saga was happening, we found out the identity of the voice actor for Rocky.
Well, Butters found that out.
Well, Butters, yeah.
Yeah, he found that out. He told you, and then you told me that it's this guy named Larry Mangum, and I started listening to his music, and I heard his voice, and I closed my eyes just listening to it, and I'm like, you know what? That is Rocky. And then
You reached out to him on Facebook.
I did. I messaged him on Facebook, and then I got a hold of Larry. I told him everything and what we're doing, and then Larry got me in contact with his
recording manager.
He's a producing partner, I think is what the term he wanted.
Yeah.
And his name was Jeff Alford, so I started talking to Jeff. And then I asked Jeff, I said, Jeff, I do YouTube videos. Could we do an interview on Zoom and put that in? And he said, yeah, absolutely. And I thought, okay, that's going to be our next episode. Great, because now we got stuff for episode 7.
Yeah.
And we did that interview, and it worked out really well.
Yeah, and not to mention, he gave you original tracks. Two new original songs that the Man Dog haven't sung yet.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. They weren't made for our show, but Larry did the vocals for these songs.
Yeah.
And I believe, and I could be wrong about this, but the guy that does Hank's voice also sang versions of the songs that Larry did. And what Jeff did was, he gave me 2 songs, but he gave me 2 different versions of both those songs. So I have 4 tracks altogether. I have 2 songs of Larry singing.
Yeah.
And I have the same 2 songs, but of this other singer singing it. I can't think of his name, it's not at the top of my head, but it sounds a lot like Hank. So I thought, if we took those 4 tracks and meshed them together, we can have a song duo with Rocky and Hank. Now, we were going to try to have that for Frontier Saga, but that didn't work out.
Because we needed time to edit it, and then the
Yes.
most important thing, we need somebody who's good at programming.
We needed someone to program it.
And luckily for us, Butters gave us connections.
Right, but at the time, we didn't have time to do it because we were open all the time at that point. It was the summertime, and I needed time to edit all of the song sequences that we had already filmed in the springtime. So we didn't have time to put them in.
Yeah.
So it would have been great if we ended Frontier Saga with those 2 new songs, though, wouldn't it have been? That would have been
great. Look at the detail on the camera here.
Yeah, it really does zoom in.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see the chips and the paint and all that.
Yeah, that is impressive.
Yeah, and also during Frontier Saga, we also filmed footage that could be in Bring It Back to 90s Part 3.
We did?
Yeah, we did. Because around the time we wrapped up, we started filming scenes for what would become Bring It Back to 90s Part 3.
Oh, you're right.
I'm not going to disclose what it is because I'll end up spoiling it.
No, I know what you're talking about. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, we did.
Yeah. Also, we played a lot of PBS on that TV right there.
That's right, because this is March, and the PBS video had just come out, and that's going to surpass all the videos on the channel. It's going to be the #1 video on the channel.
Yeah.
So this commercial here, so 4.0, that's the one that started this whole commercial thing. And
you were trying to come up with something different here.
Yeah, so instead of Christmas commercials, because this was going to air during the summer, I thought, let's try to find nostalgic summer commercials that I love. And I remember seeing this ad on Nickelodeon back in the early 2000s, and I loved that product, and they don't make them anymore, and I wish they still did. And this also was on Nickelodeon, the Rainbow Art. I remember this ad.
Yeah, I remember that one too. Yeah. Ian, have you seen this?
Yeah.
The Rainbow... Actually, I'm curious to know, do we know anybody that owned that thing?
I never owned it, but I remember seeing this commercial.
I feel like I used it before. Something inside me told me that, but that's a... Hey, what if we use that as a pay for Wonderland?
Yeah, we could.
Just get... Oh, how much did you pay it with? With this. You need something better, but okay.
This is a really cool product, though. I'm not going to lie. This is impressive. If you love to make artwork, you're going to love this thing.
Yeah.
This is nice.
And it doesn't make messes, too.
No. Forget all those messes. With Rainbow Art, look, there's no drips, and the colors dry instantly.
Yeah.
That is a nice product. Now, this commercial, I could not find a cracked rear view promo. I couldn't find one, and I looked and looked, but I found one for Fairweather Johnson, and I thought, okay, it was the second album. Old Man and Me is on there. All right, I'll use that, because I got to use something from Hootie.
Yeah. They did actually, for Cracked Review, they did a vinyl re-release.
They did.
Yeah, and Ian, actually, this is the second time recording this commentary because the first time we did, the camera crapped out on us.
Yeah, we recorded it off.
Ian mentioned something that this year's the 30th anniversary
of Cracker Review.
July in '94 is when it came out, so coming up.
Sherwin-Williams, yeah.
Yeah, and this is from the VHS Treasures. This is from the Brady Bunch VHS tape that my dad recorded when he recorded Nick at Night reruns. So this commercial I watched a lot in the late '90s growing up on the tape. So this brings back memories. And also it works because we get our paint from Sherwin-Williams at Wonderland Pier. So
yeah, it's true.
That works out.
Yep. Now this footage here is really special.
Yeah, this is all the footage that John had. He saved all these VHS tapes and 8mm footage and DVDs, pictures, floppy disks. And I got to take it all when they cleaned his office out and when he left Wonderland. So
yeah.
And by the way, all these pictures that you're seeing, I have these in a photo album that John had that he gave me. So I have all these pictures, crystal clear imagery. So it's pretty good. It breaks my heart watching them tear down the old giant reel.
I'll be right back. I'm just going to order dinner.
Okay.
All right. Now, for those new to the channel, because Andrew, your channel has seen some pretty steady growth of new subscribers.
Yeah, we're now up to 4,000 subscribers now. I didn't know that was going to happen.
Yeah. Now, you're probably wondering, Wonderland, what are you guys talking about? So, just for the new timers, I'll give you guys a quick little rundown. So, in 2014, 2015, I wasn't around, but Andrew told me the whole story.
Yeah.
He and his colleague, Dan, created this feature-length documentary about Wonderland Pier. They called it Wonderland.
We did.
And in the movie, they interviewed Mr. Roy Gilling. They interviewed John, Wayne, all the key members of maintenance and personnel.
Yeah, Wayne Seddon's the guy that does all the artwork in the Pier since 1989. So
Yeah, he's been with us for years.
And here's the great thing about Wayne. See, John was the operations manager for a long time, and he worked in maintenance. He was there when the Man and Dog got built. He was there when the log flume got installed. So he was there for a lot of stuff. He's been there since 1990. He saved all of the videos, the VHS tapes, the
8mm
DVDs,
film tapes,
everything. He saved everything. And Wayne, who still works at Wonderland, he saves a lot of stuff. He has blueprints of old sketches and drawings that he's had of artwork he's made over the last 30 years.
Even the old Sarfa cage, he has blueprints.
Yes, he saved everything. And even if they sell a ride, if there was like a sign that was next to that ride, Wayne will take that sign and he'll keep it in his shop because it's a part of history.
Yeah.
So he saves all that stuff. So when Dan and I found out all this and we met everybody, we had no idea that the company saved all this because we thought we would never see this stuff again. Like we saw signs that used to hang on the City Jet coaster entrance.
Yeah.
We thought they threw that out 20 years ago, so we had no idea.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah. Now going back to Wonderland, the movie came out really, really well. I liked it. I really liked it, and so did Ian and you and all that.
Yeah.
We did try to get I wouldn't say we because again I wasn't there for it. He and Dan did try to get the movie released.
We did,
but
yeah.
Unfortunately, due to circumstances beyond our control, we weren't able to.
No, we weren't able to get the.
And
the
now we
first
can't
movie out.
because a lot of the people featured in the documentary no longer work for the company.
That's right. At the time when we made the first movie, we had a lot of people that were still working at Wonderland that were there in the 90s and even in the 80s.
Yeah.
So when we wanted to release the film, they had already left, so we either had to re-edit the film or we couldn't release the film at all. And I didn't want to release the film without their stuff because they had a lot of good stories about moving rides around and all that. And this footage that you're seeing right here, this is footage that John recorded on his 8mm camera that he saved all these years in his office. And none of this stuff is in the team videos. And he saved the team videos also. So none of this stuff has ever been seen before.
Yeah.
And I thought it was incredible that he saved it all. So I put it in and like, this is great. We're gonna use this.
Yeah. And then 3 years later, 3 years after you did that, you guys made a sequel called Wonderland 2.
Yeah, we made the sequel, Dan and I.
And unlike the first film, which was a documentary, Wonderland 2 was a comedy.
Yeah, Wonderland 2 was a comedy. See, so here's the deal. This is the best explanation I can come up with. So, the Blair Witch Project, which I love.
Yeah.
That's a documentary. I think it's a good movie. It's not really a horror movie, but I like it. I watch it every Halloween. So, that's a documentary. The sequel, Blair Witch 2, as bad as it is...
The nostalgia critic hated it, by the way.
Oh, I hated it too. It was awful. It was terrible. But Blair Witch 2, what they did was clever. It started off clever. The idea was, let's make a movie based on the success of the documentary. And I like that as a way for a sequel to tie in with the original film. So Wonderland 2 was 3 years later, Dan and me made a documentary, which was the first movie, and it got really popular, and now we're maintenance men. And the second movie was just a day in the life of being a maintenance man at Wonderland Pier. And it's over the top, it's ridiculous, it's a comedy.
And goofy shenanigans.
Yes. We had a lot of... Like, example, one of the scenes that's in Wonderland 2 is the scene that we showed in the 30th anniversary where the car goes out of control and Donovan's driving the car. That was from Wonderland 2. So we had a lot of scenes from Wonderland 2. Some were dramatic, some were great, some were funny. And Dan was in a lot of that movie because he was the star. And I thought, let's use some of those scenes for Frontier Saga because that way it's our way to get Dan in Frontier Saga. So at the end of Frontier Saga in episode 15, when Dan and I say goodbye to one another, that was the end of Wonderland 2 when he decides to leave the park. Now, he wasn't leaving the park when we made that movie. We made that in 2018. He left 2 years later. But still, it worked out because he did say he was leaving Wonderland in 2023, which he did. And so it actually works out really well. And I'm glad John got all this footage. Man, the giant wheel looks brand new. He's got the City Jet in there. Yeah, that's great.
That's amazing.
Like, I'm glad he kept all this, because this is great. And also, this B-roll right here, this was the wrong thing that went out. Remember when this episode first aired, the wrong video went out by mistake? Yeah, that was a big mistake.
I was hanging up at the man dog area when that dropped. Excuse me.
And I was on the top of the flume that night.
Yeah.
And I didn't hear that story before until now.
Yeah, and basically what happened was that he accidentally uploaded the wrong file because it was named similarly. Like, the file that you accidentally uploaded was titled Frontier Saga Episode 1, but he forgot to put in the word B-Wall. So he uploaded thinking, oh, this is that's the episode. Well, here's the thing. This one, the one that we're watching, is... How long is it?
28 minutes.
Yeah.
And the B-roll was 40 minutes, but I didn't see the time. So here's the deal. This show, this whole series was airing on Friday nights at 7 o'clock. Now, I was working at the time, so I had to get these things edited and upload them to a scheduled time before I left work.
And that was a nice thing about YouTube is that you were able to upload it and then schedule to have it released.
Yeah, like if I want this thing to come out on May 26th at 7 o'clock at night, I can schedule it for that, but I can upload it like 24 hours ahead of time.
Yeah.
Problem was, I didn't realize I hit the wrong one.
Ferris wheel right there.
Oh yeah, the lights look great. We should get those back too. That looks fantastic.
But yeah, going back to what you were saying.
Yeah, so it went live. And as it was going live, I was on top of the log flume at the time that night, and I thought, hey, Frontier Saga's starting up. Let me go on my phone real quick and see how it's doing. I want to know how many people are watching it. And I go up. Now, it's like 7:50 at night, and I'm thinking the episode's only 28 minutes long. It's 7:50, and it's still going. What the heck is this? And I realize, oh, no, this is the wrong one. Oh, man. Oh, they're swearing. Oh, the CityJet ticket box is in... Oh, that wasn't supposed to go out. I could get in so much trouble for this. And I couldn't leave. I couldn't do anything. Here's the part that stunk. I was on the top of the flume. I had just got back up from my break. If I had found this out when I was on break, I could have logged into the company computer in guest services and deleted it right there. But I didn't. I didn't know until after I got back on the flume. And once you get back on the flume, you're
stuck up there.
You're stuck up there for the night. So as soon as 10 o'clock came, I floored my car over the bridge to get home. I was Donovan in Wonderland 2 driving my car.
Forget the NASCAR ride. This is the real deal.
I get home, I delete it, and I put the real one up. But I still made the May 26th deadline. I still got the episode up,
yeah.
But.
Now this guy
that was a big mistake.
Yeah. Now the guy that you see in the footage here, that's Brian O'Connell.
Brian O'Connell, he was my old boss. He was the boss in charge of personnel. He was there from 95 until April of 2013, and it hurt me so much when I found out he left. Because he left out of nowhere. But he's the guy that hired me, and Dan.
And he gave you a chance.
Yeah, that's him. And he loved, let me tell you something. You know how much Dan cares about Wonderland Pier? He's exactly the same.
Nice.
He cares so much. He cared so much about that place. He loved it.
Look at the surroundings in this.
I see a lot. Him and Dan have a lot in common because Brian is actually from Pennsylvania and he would commute. Yeah. Dan did the same thing.
Yeah. Now this interview footage that you see here, that's from the first Wonderland movie.
That's from the first Wonderland movie. Yeah. I called up John when we were making the first movie. I called up John and I said, "John, you're still in contact with Brian, right?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "Can you get him for the first movie? I gotta put him in the first movie." And he goes, "Let me call him up." And he got him, and we got him in the movie, and I was so happy about that.
Yeah.
And we got him in.
Yeah.
Yeah, he worked
the bumper boats.
The bumper boats, I missed that. All you could smell was gasoline. With that one, because they were run by gas. Yeah, it was great.
Just like the gas, just like the boats up at Action Park.
Yeah, it smelled pretty much like going into a gas station. That's what it smelled like. It was awesome. It was a great time.
That wasn't how it always was. Did it change later on?
I don't know. I mean,
dude, get up the ramp!
Like, 2011 was the final summer we had the bumper boats.
Yeah.
Literally, the year before I started working was the last year it was there, so I never got to work the bumper boats.
And then you got CityJet right there.
CityJet. He got to run the CityJet. He talked about running that. These interviews went on a lot longer. Like I said, there's more stuff in there. Like, maybe when we do Wonderland 3, we might release more.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it. That was the idea.
I love that shot right there.
Yeah, it's a great shot. I'm glad... John, thank you so much for saving all this footage all these years later, because this is 2001.
Yeah.
Like, I was 8 years old here.
I guess bumper boats that would be made today would be done by remote control.
Most likely they would be,
yeah.
I mean, we're talking like 25 years ago, so it was a different time. I mean, the carousel didn't even have a fence around it.
Yeah.
It was a different time then.
Yeah. Going back to Wonderland, you did
What's
3
the-
versions of the movie.
Yeah, I made 3 versions of the Wonderland movie. The first version was my version that I made. The second one was the same one as version 1, but it was public domain music. We had to take all the copyrighted music out.
Yeah.
And the
then
third
in
version was the
2018,
director's
the
cut.
same year you did Wonderland 2, you went back to the film and did a director's cut.
Yeah, and the director's cut I like more, even though it's a shame we're talking about it because you'll never get to see it on YouTube. But
Yeah.
the original cut of Wonderland was 1 hour and 4 minutes, and the director's cut's 1 hour and 18 minutes. So it had more stuff in it, which was good. Now, this song here, why was this the first song that we went with? Because it was the easiest to edit. That's why.
Yep, there's Rocky singing away.
Because, originally, Everybody Had Fun Tonight, the Wang Chung song.
That was going to be the kickoff to the summer song.
Yes, that was going to
But
be
we
the original
couldn't-
song in the
yeah.
first episode.
But we couldn't because we ran out of time with filming and editing.
Well, I was still editing that, and it had to be perfect. But then I started to think, you know what, that would be a better song for 4th of July.
Because the lyric says around the country and around the wall.
Yeah,
Something
and we
like
had
that.
fireworks going off, and I thought, that would be good, because this is going to air throughout the summer. We got to have something for 4th of July.
Yeah.
So I thought, save that for 4th of July. It'll be better.
Yeah.
So we went with
and
this
it worked
one
out
instead.
better. And it worked out better anyway.
Yeah, and this song, and by the way, this is Southland that Larry Mangum actually sings.
That was
it's not a
the
man and dog song.
Yeah, that was the first song I found when I typed in his name. I took one listen to it and I'm like, it's Rocky. It's definitely Rocky.
But here's what's great about it. This is actually the live version that you're hearing from 1979. He cut a studio version of that song. And in my opinion, the studio version's a lot better. Like, personally, it's so good, it could be a man and dog track. It sounds really good. Mm-hmm. It's a shame we can't use it, though, because it's not a Sally Corp recorded song. So we could get in trouble for that, but it sounds really good.
Yeah, and actually, we're going back to Wonderland real quick. If you were to release the DVD publicly, not that you could,
I can't.
I meant to say if you were, you would have released a public domain version because in the original and director's cut.
No, not even that. We couldn't even release the public domain version because you have people's interviews in that version that people no longer work there. We would have to make a 4th version of that movie and recut it, and it would.
Well,
be
not
terrible.
to mention you had copyrighted music in there as well.
Well, I mean, it would be terrible either way because a lot of the good stories about Wonderland Pier came from the people that no longer work there anymore. So all their stuff would have to be taken out.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't be good. So we can't release it. So it is what it is. But this song, I really like this idea of doing the songs with the characters. It's really good. Yeah, I'm a 30. Really take this time and think. I'm a 30-year-old man singing songs with animatronics.
Hey, don't worry. You got that guy who invented Rocket Fire Explosion who still does that.
Yeah, but with Aaron Fechter, it's different. I mean, he actually does the voices. I mean, he does Billy Bob and Looney Bird's voice and Rolf. So it's it's different. Me, I don't do. I'm just a fan. I'm not the singer.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this worked out. This worked out really well. And by the way, the Rocky singing there, that footage is from 2020. You can tell because Tony's wearing a different jacket.
Yeah.
You could tell it's different. I know the fans picked up on that. So
Yeah.
yeah, but this worked out really well. I really like this song. If we find more Larry Mangum songs, maybe we can use them. I don't know.
Maybe.
Not for the show, but for episodes. For
Yeah.
song sequences, we could do that. Because I really like doing that.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. So that was the first episode of Frontier Saga. I'm Andrew Boylan.
I'm Alex Corson,
And I'm Ian McGill.
and we'll see y'all in the next episode.
See you later.